Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing my first wrap up of 2018. These are the first 10 books that I've read this year. So if I'm looking down, there's a notebook in my lap. That is why. So starting off, I actually read one of my friend's poetry collections that is not out yet, but I got a copy of it on NetGalley if you want to check it out, and that is Dropkick Romance by Cyrus Parker. He is Amanda Lovelace's husband, in case you didn't know. His book comes out on the same day that hers does, her next one does, which is March 6th, and I read it and I loved it. I screenshotted so many poems. I can't wait to get my hands on a physical copy, and I'm so excited. I want everyone to read this. It's so good. If you liked The Princess Saves Herself in this one, you're gonna love Dropkick Romance. The styles are very similar. The stories are different. This is all about Cyrus's experience in his past relationship and moving forward to his relationship now with Amanda, and it's so cute. And he's like one of my favorite people in the whole world. So I did read that. That was my first read of the year. And now, moving into physical books. Well, some of them I don't have physically because I borrowed them from the library. But anyway, the first book that I have is Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer. I wanted to read this because we did read little excerpts from this for my short story class last semester. We were introduced to the John McCandless. Is his name John? No, his name is, what is his name? Chris McCandless's journey. This is all about a boy named Chris who he goes to Alaska. He just leaves home and goes to Alaska, and he lives in the wild, which is why it's called Into the Wild, for 4 months, and he actually ends up dying. So it's all about his experience. And this Jon Krakauer wrote this after he wrote an article about Chris in some magazine. I don't really remember what the magazine was, but this is all about Chris's, what happened to him, what was going on. It was a really enjoyable read. It was really good nonfiction. I haven't read Jon Krakauer's other book, which is about his actual experience in climbing Mount Everest, but I do plan on picking that up soon. But yeah, this was really good, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Oh, I forgot to mention that I gave Dropkick Romance 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. The next book I read was actually a reread because I had gone through a breakup earlier this month, and I was taking it kind of hard. So I just wanted to reread one of my old faves and feel a little bit better. So I reread Everyone's an Alievin When You're an Alievin Too by Jomny Sun, and this is a cute little graphic novel. I love everything about this. If you haven't read this, definitely go borrow it from the library, because it's an expensive book. It's $15, which isn't that bad, but if you're just, it takes you less than an hour to read. So definitely go borrow this from the library. It's so good. It's so cute, and it just makes you feel happy. It's a little motivational, but I don't know, it's about this little alien, and he goes to Earth to meet the humans and find out what the humans are doing. And he actually just meets animals, and he becomes friends with the trees, and it's so cute. I love this. Definitely go check it out. The next book I read, I'm so excited about, and that is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. This is her sophomore novel. I read Everything I Never Told You a few months ago, and maybe it was in December. It was either in November or December. It was the end of last year, and I absolutely loved it, and I couldn't wait to start reading this one. So as soon as I got my hands on it, I started reading it. I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. This is about a small town in Ohio, and just kind of the shenanigans that ensue between a bunch of families. There is a sort of mysterious vibe to it. There's a little bit of a mystery, but kind of shit hits the fan when a Chinese American girl is adopted, and there's just all this drama, but it's so good, and I absolutely loved it. The writing was gorgeous. I did tab some of my few favorite quotes, so absolutely loved it. The next book I read I actually borrowed from the library, and it's a graphic novel. and it's really small. It was really cute. It was called Princess Ever After, and it's just a little graphic novel that follows a princess, and I think the other person's a princess too, because that makes sense. And it has a female romance, and it's kind of like Rapunzel's locked in the tower, but then another princess comes and saves her, and then they have to like fight the villain. It's super cute. You can literally read it in like 30 minutes, maybe even less, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The next 3 books I read are all part of the same series. 2 of them were rereads. The third one was not, and I think you probably already guessed what it is, and that is Down Among the Sticks and Bones, Every Heart a Doorway, and Beneath the Sugar Sky. And I don't know if you can tell, but I love these books. This is like my favorite series ever. It's so good. The first book is Every Heart a Doorway, the second book is Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and then the third book is Beneath the Sugar Sky. But I recommend that you read Down Among the Sticks and Bones first, then Every Heart a Doorway, then Beneath the Sugar Sky, but you can really read it however you want, because Every Heart a Doorway is about the boarding school that the kids go to. So if you don't know what this book is about, it's about kids who go away to faraway worlds like Fantasyland, Candyland, stuff like that. And they go through doors to get to those worlds, but then when they come back, it like follows the characters and how they cope with not living in the world that they feel like they belong in. So they're all sent to Eleanor West's Home for Wayward Children. So this first book follows a bunch of characters who are in Eleanor's home, and it's so wonderful. But to make sense of it, like 2 of the characters in this book, Jack and Jill, this book is all about their story and their their world, and I think it's really important to read this book before you read this one, because it just makes more sense. And so I reread these 2 because the third book came out this month, and it was so amazing. I was squealing pretty much the whole time because I was just so excited for what was about to happen, and then I forgot that my copy is signed. That's why I ordered it online instead of getting it in person, and I'm so excited about this. So this series is amazing. If you haven't read it, definitely pick it up if it sounds like something you might like. Another book that I got from the library is actually a middle grade story, and that is Snow and Rose. I don't remember who wrote it, but I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was really cute. I loved the art style. There was watercolor paintings throughout it, and it was just so cute and lovely, and it was an enjoyable read. I was very much in the mood for like a fairy tale story like that one after finishing Beneath the Sugar Sky, so I loved it. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars because it's definitely not like a new favorite, and I don't know if I'll like go and buy my own copy of it, but I'm happy I read it from the library. And then the last book that I read, I feel like I just showed it to you, is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This book is taking book 2 by storm. It's very well deserved. This book is very well written. The entire cast of characters are complex and interesting and flawed, and I love this book so much. I actually plan on rereading it because I started tabbing it halfway through. As you can see, like, I freaking love this book. So I do want to reread it and tab the quotes that I liked but didn't mark. And this follows this girl, Jude, who her mother's first husband comes to their house when they're really little and kills her parents, and then they're taken off to the world of fairy, Jude, her twin sister Taryn, and then their older sister Vivi, and they live in fairy with the man who killed their parents. And it's kind of like she wants to be a knight in the king's court, and the king is about to give the crown to one of his children, and it's not about age, it's about who he thinks is best fit for it. And then on the night of the coronation, madness ensues, and it is so fucking good. Oh my god, I actually went out and bought The Darkest Part of the Forest because I freaking loved this one so much. So if you're unaware of this book, or if you're really hesitant about picking up because you're afraid of the hype, like definitely don't be. It's so good. If you like fairy stories, if you like anything about this book, it's so good. And then there's gonna be, I already know, I'm so excited for the next book because there's such an angsty romance, and I'm so ready to read about that in the next book. So yay. So yeah, those were the first 10 books that I have read so far this year. Let me know if you guys have read any of these, or if you want to pick them up after watching this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!